Initially, I was offered an interview here on a recommendation from a tutor at university. So this is just after I graduated uni, so I came along to the interview just for the interview experience really, and I'd seen a lecture by music at uni, so I thought it would be like a really nice opportunity to like go and see a studio and all that sort of thing. So I went for my interview. I didn't get the job. I mean, that might have had something to do with, I think I said something like that I'd rather be travelling, or I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a designer, or just something really stupid at the time anyway. But I'd left behind a little book that I'd made at uni, so that was then noticed by one of the guys who was doing the internship programme. So purely just on the fact that I'd left this little book behind, they'd seen it and asked me to do this workshop, which music do to get in their next sort of set of interns, as it were. So yeah, I went a few months later, I went and did this workshop, which was a great opportunity actually, just to go and see what the studio was like on a bit more of a sort of, I don't know, a bit more in depth rather than just sitting in for a 10-minute interview. Well, I guess the main thing that I worked on was London Collections Men, which we do twice a year for the British Fashion Council. So I worked on that, which was really good because it was something that was totally new to me, the whole sort of fashion industry, and it was one of the main sort of projects for one of the main clients at music, so it was really good to get proper insight into that and also work with 2 or 3 designers as well as Paolo, the copywriter. So it was actually a really good project to get stuck into. Yeah, it definitely sort of started small, and then I guess just the more you sort of prove that you can sort of handle certain things, or where, you know, people start realising where your talents lie, you'll get allocated slightly bigger things. And then in the end, actually, I mean, now I've become like the sort of main designer on the British Fashion Council, which was really nice because it was the very first thing I sort of started on, and now still like my main project, as it were. Yeah, definitely. I think the main thing, for me at least, was just sort of saying yes to stuff. So just agreeing to do any work, like no matter if it's really small or, you know, just mediocre or not even design, you know, like making tea. It just really, it just gives a chance for you to talk to people in doing those tasks, but also just prove that you really want to help out and get to know the studio and get to know the people there. I think it's important to be social as well in that sense, and not just stay stuck in a corner, and absolutely ask questions if you're stuck, because I think the worst thing you can do is just sit and be internally having like a panic attack, worrying that you don't know how to do X, Y, or Z, when actually the person next to you is, you know, probably the nicest person in the world and will give you a hand, because I think, you know, everyone's really nice, so they want to help. Don't complain about the work that's given. I think you've just got to approach everything with an enthusiasm or a certain spirit, otherwise it's sort of, it's just a bit rude, isn't it? And I think, I just think it's important to be social and keep talking, so if you just sort of, you know, clam up, then it's not the best thing. And I mean, I'm a really shy person, so I think you know, just start small, speak to the person next to you, and then, you know, eventually you'll snowball into speaking to lots of people, including the higher up people, as it goes on. So at music, I think the policy is that we'll cover expenses, but I mean, I don't think it's necessarily exploiting. I think it's just about weighing up your own sort of, like, you know, what you're going to get out of it, what the benefit is, because it doesn't always have to be monetary, and I think that's the most important thing. If you're going to work for free, is, you know, make sure you don't do it for ages, and make sure you're getting something out that is a lot richer than the money, basically. Well, I think obviously I knew everybody, and I knew the sort of work that we do and how we'd approach a project, but I think the main thing for me is that I knew that it was a fit for me as much as anything else. I think, I mean, I've never worked anywhere else, so it's hard for me to compare, but I think it's as important for you to feel comfortable in that studio as it is for the studio to feel comfortable with you.